My name is Teresa Tim. I am the General Manager of Midwest Family Dash. This is our 9th Wicked Smart webinar, and I'm thrilled that you're here today. I'm really excited to actually introduce you to two individuals that I've had the honor of working with, extraordinary women that work with me in La Crosse, Wisconsin. Jen O'Brien and Jean Taylor do fantastic things in our community with promotional ideas and with brilliant execution that results in solid return on investment for our clients. And I am just so thrilled that they're going to be spending some time with us this afternoon, sharing their ideas, sharing their knowledge, and helping you see some results with your promotional ideas and execution in your markets as well. A couple of housekeeping things. As you're signing in, please mute yourself because we can hear some ambient noise and it's kind of distracting, so put yourself on mute. But just know that during this presentation, the chat box will be open. If you've got questions, we will try to take some breaks in between the conversation so it's more of a dialogue versus a lecture. And we'll bring questions in real time as well as saving some time at the end. So use your chat box if you've got a question for one of the two ladies. Today, Andy Botts, who is our marketing manager in Midwest Family Madison, will be facilitating. And without further ado, Andy, I'm gonna toss it to you.
Awesome. Well, welcome everyone to the Wicked Smart webinar. We have been doing this, feels like forever. No, I'm just kidding. I think DK said this is our ninth. So, where we bring great experts that can share resources and tips for you as business owners to help you, move forward from where we're at, improve yourself, maybe work on your business a little bit more instead of feeling like you're trapped in your business. And we kind of came up with this topic because sometimes business owners, they're too close to the business. That they have one thing that I've heard a lot at Midwest Family, it's hard to see out. If you're inside the bottle, it's kind of hard to read the label. So hopefully by sharing some of these promotional ideas and things that we have to share with you today, we help inspire some creativity, maybe help you think outside the box for your business and bring in some other kind of maybe some creative juice to on this. I don't know if it's gloomy where you at, but it's gloomy here in Wisconsin. So I'm excited to introduce you to our two speakers, Jen O'Brien, and I did not change the name there, but the other one is one of our other speakers here. We'll go there, Jean Taylor. She is at La Crosse and Eau Claire. So we're doing a little bit of a different format here where they're going to bounce back and forth to mix it up a little bit today. So I will kick it off to, looks like we're going to start with Jen. So.
Thanks, Andy. So we're really glad to be here with you today and share some of the things that we do in the La Crosse market and across some of our other markets as well. This is a little timeline just to give you all some perspective. Where were we in February? At the beginning of February, the U.S. economy had 225,000 new jobs, and it was robust, and we were vaguely aware that there was a new virus that sounds kind of like a Mexican beer. You fast forward to March, we lost over 700,000 jobs, the worst report since 2009. And we're becoming familiar with this concept called social distancing. And then by the end of April, a record 20 million jobs lost, and we've washed our hands probably about 20 million times in that amount of time as well. Face masks are our new accessory. So if we just want to move ahead then, so that's just to give you a little perspective on how quickly things changed. In just a couple of months, we barely knew about the virus, and now our whole lives have changed. 3 waves of COVID-19 crisis response. This is from Price Waterhouse. Organizations that successfully accelerate the speed at which they progress through the waves tend to emerge stronger. And so we're going to try and help you prepare for stage 3, and really, the immediate was to make sure that you and your employees and your families, everyone was safe. Wave 2, you may still be in wave 2, which is the tactical responses, the logistics of maybe how you were handling things, and then strategy is where we are now long-term so that you can not only survive, but thrive.
This affected obviously our business as well, and just a quick how we were in some of those categories when the mobilize was to figure out how to get some of our staff to be able to work from home. In order to do that, that required equipment and infrastructure because we're a broadcast organization and not all of us can be mobile and do our jobs. So we had to invest in some of that and also get information to the community regarding businesses. We created a website that we populated around River City with businesses that could go in, community organizations, and update their own information on when they were available and what their hours were and what their services were, as well as blood drives and food donation sites and things that the community needed. And moving now to pivoting our contests and events, our client messages, new content and new marketing strategies, giving the climate for our brands and our marketing partners and our listeners moving forward.
I'm not sure if you're familiar with NuVoodoo Media Services. They do research and marketing, and they sampled about 2,000 people nationwide, ages 16 to, I believe, 54. In that sample, almost 2,000 people, 5% expect business to return the way it was. So they're not expecting things to just open up, even though in Wisconsin we are back to business as usual as of today. Upwards of 60% expect hand sanitizer to be available, employees to be wearing masks, gloves, and the number of people allowed in any facility to be limited. Just last week, I had an experience where I patronized a business where the person behind the register wasn't wearing a mask. I felt a little uneasy about that, and there was no hand sanitizer between uses of handling the transaction before mine and then mine. So I do think it's on people's minds. I do think people are maybe eager, especially in Wisconsin, to get back to some normalcy, but they will be expecting some sort of safety precautions and CDC compliance.
These are just some examples of some of the messaging that we've heard during COVID. The same ads as usual, so not acknowledging it at all. Offering COVID-19 discounts. I do have an example of that I'll talk about in just a second. Highlighting COVID-19 policies, so what we're doing, curbside delivery, touchless delivery, the things that we're doing. Ads or sponsorship highlighting donations or fundraising for COVID in the community. We'll have a couple of examples of those as well. Acknowledging the crisis, we're all in this together, and thanking frontline workers. We did whatever you do, whatever messaging, whatever route you're thinking about going, the entire platform of your marketing, so whether that's messages in an email or you're using your social or your advertising or your digital components, all should reflect and mirror that consistent message. I will say for the discounts, we are starting a promotion next week with a nail salon that is offering a contest where someone's going to win a manicure for a year as the grand prize, but everybody that enters will be getting a kickback email, a bounce back that will give them 20% off their first visit to the salon once they're able to reopen in the state of Wisconsin safely. And then these were the ones of those messages that we just talked about that the survey says these are winners. These ones come out on top with the people that they surveyed. Thanking the frontline workers, that message doesn't seem to be getting old and it resonates and it's close to people's hearts. Offering COVID-related discounts or highlighting donations or fundraisers are all things that people feel good about right now, and highlighting the safety policies that you're going to have in place in order to keep the customers and consumers safe. But wait, have you heard this one?
People, family, especially now. Right now more than ever. Times like this.
Times of uncertainty. During these uncertain times,
Unprecedented times.
there's still ways to touch each other.
Without leaving the comfort and safety of your home.
Together.
Right now, together. Uncertain times. Together. We are here for you.
Well, I think we've all heard that one and all of them. And what sounded compassionate and understanding and positive only just a few short weeks ago already is showing fatigue at 35% for ads featuring themes like in these trying times and we're all in this together. And that's just how quickly things are moving. So we think that that's important for you to note. I want you also to note that fatigue in general for any message at any time of year is around 20%. So this was as of April 30th, and now we're already at 35%. then a few weeks later, it could be even higher. So if you are running messages that are addressing that, be sensitive to the fact that people are maybe over it at this point. This is a slide that shows the NuVoodoo Media Services, all of the results that they found, and I won't go into detail because your time is precious, but I just want to point out that, again, the ads offering COVID-19 discounts and the ads thanking frontline workers were resonating most at 74% with a very slow burn factor on that. Thanks, Andy.
So some strategies, promoting your brand initiatives and building that loyalty and telling your story, and then value, communicating your value, and how can you help solve their problems. And as a result of working on a couple projects with local businesses, these are a couple examples of how we saw those implemented, Andy. So the first one that you're going to see there, building trust and loyalty, we worked with a local financial group that wanted to be impactful and associated with giving back and helping our community. This was a 3-week donation drive where we took straight up cash donations to help our 2 local hospitals and our frontline workers, and it was feeding our healthcare heroes. We incorporated the purchase of the food through locally owned restaurants, and so we're able to take the dollars donated, put it into their coffers, help them get some food out, and help the heroes get fed. This promotion incorporated web, social, radio, and an email campaign, and generated over $3,500 in donations that we were able to stimulate the local economy with and honor our healthcare heroes. The senior class, well, they've got all sorts of issues, right? What happened to the seniors of 2020? They lost the last part of their year, all their spring sports, their prom, and of course their graduation. Western Technical College really saw the value, and so did we, in talking to this group of kids that had lost so much. So we created a virtual online yearbook utilizing radio and web and social for them. We've been running this for a couple of weeks. We've seen over 230 seniors upload their picture, their name, and the school, their alma mater, if you will. Western Technical College is providing 3 $250 scholarships for these kids to use whatever comes next, as well as a bounce back congratulations graduation card direct to those seniors that have submitted their pictures saying congratulations from Western Tech. Your goals are not on hold. Western Tech is here for you.
All right, so it's obvious that we're not doing business as usual, whether that's in our business, running radio stations, or your business. You've had to pivot what you're doing. I'm a big Friends fan, so I don't know if you saw that episode, but I think pivot, along with social distancing, COVID-19, coronavirus, and flatten the curve, pivot will be the big word of the year. Is your product or service still relevant today as it was even just a couple of weeks ago? And what can you do differently to solve their problem? And thinking in terms of promotions, and now that we're in this wave 3 and we're strategizing, that'll be key. What can you do to solve their problem?
And who is your customer? That person may not be the same customer it was a couple months ago. That customer may look different. This was an internal pivot that I wanted to share with you. This is a long-standing heritage promotion done, very important to the brand of the radio station that I work on. It's a historic motorcycle ride, 100 miles through our area with a pre-event, stops at businesses along the way, and a post-event that is done every year for a seriously ill child from our area to make a wish for that young individual come true. And we had already organized and worked with our Big Bikes family. His name is Austin. He's 10 and suffering from brain cancer. And we had talked to him and made the commitment to do Big Bikes for him prior to COVID. And so we had promises to keep and needed to work on ways that we could still fulfill that and have this be impactful and part of who we are and who our listeners are and our participating clients and supporters of this event. That's important to everyone. So we decided that we would try to do a drive-by, a ride-by, if you will, a parade in front of Austin's house. And so that became a a situation where we needed to get in the involvement and the permission and the participation from the sheriff's department and the local chief of police in order to execute. So we had the idea, thought we might be able to do it, but needed to get the buy-in from the powers that would help us execute. And so this Saturday, we will be riding by Austin's house. We have probably one of our best years of participation ever in this event that we've been doing for almost 20 years. And we have vehicles that are joining us. That we have an Oktoberfest here in La Crosse. Their float with their important people, Fest Masters, are going to be in it. The Quick Trip Cow is coming. We have people who are going to walk it in inflatable unicorn and T-Rex costumes, things that we certainly never have had before. And it's going to be a really great celebration and a way to still fulfill our promise and pivot on our heritage event.
All right, so some of the other strategies you can use, virtually everything, as if you probably maybe didn't already know. Appointments can be done online, classes, services, online stores. This example is with Habitat for Humanity in La Crosse. Their Restore didn't have an online store, but they do now. They launched on May 5th. They're also letting people know how they're resuming business as usual, resuming pickup donations, also drop-offs, how they're working to keep you safe. That will be an important part of any messaging that you should include, what you are doing in your environment to keep the public safe, and information about how you're operating, when you open back up if you're not already open now. So think about moving whatever you can online. It's an opportunity. And in fact, in many cases, COVID-19 probably pushed you in that direction at a more rapid pace than maybe you were already moving towards that goal initially.
And while Jen and I both feel that how we're keeping you safe is important, maybe that can be at a landing site somewhere where you can refer to it. We're CDC compliant. We're making sure we're keeping our employees and you safe. Find out more here. That message ad nauseum anywhere for people who want to find it can, and they want to know that you've planned ahead, but you don't need to beat them over the head with it.
Something else that Habitat in La Crosse has arranged, which I think is amazing. Who doesn't love goats, right? You can Zoom with goats for a small fee. Obviously, they would hold charity events, and their ability to get donations has been impacted severely. So they came up with the great idea to Zoom with goats. For a $50 donation, Habitat for Humanity in La Crosse will do a live stream and crash your Zoom call. Who doesn't want to pay $50 to have that happen? And that is still available if you're interested in that.
Well, content. Okay, so we were already taking in tons of it, and now we're just consuming more and more content. And if you are an expert in what you do, and you are, then how can you continue to strengthen your brand with content? If you're a hairdresser, are you able to give tutorials on how to trim your own bangs and make them not look all crazy and wonky? Can you easily dye your grays at home until we can get together again? Are there tutorials or expert tips or webinars like this in the field of your expertise that you can create and through that strengthen the relationships and the branding of your product and your services with the people that consume your products? And then you're going to engage those socially, right? So you take that content that you're making, that new stuff that speaks to people and where they are, and you're putting that on whatever platforms work for you and your client base. You know, multiple platforms if that's where you're at, and you're engaging with them, your social engagement and content that they can use, talking to that core customer and giving them great channels and content that strengthens your brand identity, and also the relationship and the interest level that they have in what you have to offer, and the trust that they have in what you mean to them and the content that you're providing.
To reinforce that the trying times message is over, when you see it in a meme like the one we had on the last slide, it's over. That message is a meme. It's probably done. A beer for these trying times. Stay healthy, my friends. Thanks, Andy. All right, so wave 3, here we are. We're more strategies for you. Authentic communication. How about a handwritten card? Something really personal. A customized email message for your clients. A phone call. People actually do still use their phone for more than taking pictures. It's amazing. Community readiness survey. This one I think is particularly poignant. I took a survey the other day from my yoga studio. They wanted to know if I was ready to come back to a hot, sweaty yoga studio with a lot of other people. And what did that look like? Would I want to attend if there were fewer people? And would I pay more for smaller class sizes? And I liked that they cared what I thought, and your customers will probably appreciate knowing that you care what they think. In addition to incentives, gift cards, free trials, discounts, buying incentives, these are all promotions that you can do with your business, through your business, as you learned earlier in the slides. Messages that are resonating with people still very well are discounts related to what's happened.
So this client, this is interesting because this client had problems and needed to pivot well before COVID. They had kind of lost their lead generation tool a number of years ago and had come to us. They used to get their leads from the mall, and that wasn't really being as productive and helping them out in the way that they had historically seen. So in 2019, we worked with them to come up with a campaign for lead generation with a $20,000 home makeover giveaway. And that was executed with a number of strategies, including an online contest and an online radio broadcasting campaign that went on for a number of months, but also digital. There was targeted display, there was social elements in it as well. It did really well for them, and in the first year, over 3,500 leads were generated for them, as well as seeing a doubling on their return of investment. In 2020, they moved the same program to a different station with a completely different demographic and executed mostly the same exact way, and have over 4,000 registered leads and have tripled their ROI on this one.
So I think we can all agree it's business as unusual. That's not my phrase, but I liked it. I stole it from someone else within the Midwest family stations. Put your customer first, modify your product and marketing strategy to fit their lifestyle today. What is their life all about today? I'm in my dining room right now, so everyone's life is just a little bit different than it was, and how can you solve their problems? And then tell them how you're going to solve their problems and how you will tell them. That, you obviously have to decide for yourself. We work for Midwest Family, and we have integrated marketing approaches with radio and digital and social media. We also do direct mail and email marketing, and we can solve those problems. But even if it's something simple like Facebook ads that you're buying yourself, don't stop marketing to them. Don't stop telling people how you're operating. They want to know. They want to hear from you. And that brings us to our goat slide. I thought it was a good place to end.
So this opens up for Q&A. Does anybody on the call have questions specific about a specific promotion or a brainstorm, what you're trying to accomplish in your community, trying to message? Now's the time. We've got a good 10 minutes to do some brainstorming or ask a question. You can use the chat if you'd like, or you may just actually open up your mic, and ask the question. That'll work as well.
PK, I'd like to ask a question. This is Bob Buchholz I'd like to ask Jen and Jean if they could elaborate a little bit on that promotion at the beginning. They talked about where a coupon was redistributed back to the consumer.
Yeah, sure, Bob. We're starting to execute that next week. It was interesting because we've been ready to go, but they kept pushing the date of opening the state of Wisconsin back. So we've been waiting to go for a while. But so that is a online contest where people will sign up to win a manicure for a year. So a manicure once a month for a year. It's over $430 in wonderful nail stuff that we're all needing so badly. And then everyone that registers is getting a 20% kickback coupon that they can redeem on their first visit to the salon once they have been able to reopen. It was supported, well, will be supported by on air as well as social and an email boost as well.
Thank you, Jean. We've got a question from Melanie. Trying to put together a fundraiser, but have never done this virtually. What should we be doing to make this a success online? How do you do a virtual fundraiser? What are some suggestions?
Obviously, you have to establish the theme, I guess, without knowing the organization. You would try to keep whatever it is consistent with their brand already. And then work in ways to monetize that. You know, what can you come up with of value that you can move online? Maybe it's you're sponsoring, let's put it this way. Let's say you would have a concert historically, move that concert online, invite local band members to perform, and set up a Venmo account, and then promote that in a number of different ways, obviously through social media that you can control, but then partner with, if it's for a charity, other organizations that can help further your cause, like radio.
Thank you. Other questions? You can open your mic and ask. Actually, I've got one that just came in. Nope, I'm sorry, that was a duplicate. Other questions?
Hi, this is Eve. Are you guys seeing any specific time of day to be doing more social marketing? You know, the norm used to be people would work till 5, and then by the time they get home, you know, they might hop on Facebook at 6:30. Are you seeing any adjustments with that, being as more people working from home?
Well, clearly everybody is online more and more all the time. So I would think they used to say like Tuesdays in the middle of the day was the best time to post things on social media. I don't know that there is any really, you know, perfect time to post. Businesses like Social Sprout have grids that you can research that will show you for different platforms, Instagram versus Facebook. I don't know that that's changed entirely, although I do think that people are interfacing with their social media platforms more than ever.
Agreed.
Oh, sorry. I was going to add to that too, where you can go into your Facebook Insights or even your Google Analytics and see those engagements. And if you have an Instagram business account, each business is going to be different. So kind of go with your analytics and see from maybe the things that you are seeing and run with that.
Yeah, and there's been a couple of comments in the chat that, again, if you go to your page's insights and you can take a look at it, if you don't know how to find that, ask your Midwest Family rep to help you find that and help you understand what your insights are. We can help with that. Another question, and maybe Jerry might be able to open his mic and clarify. The question is, trying to do a promotion thanking first responders, who would that include? Is there any other details you want to add to that? Or the question is, first responder promotion, who does that include? Oh, he has no mic, sorry. So when we hear first responders, who do we think that is?
Well, generally speaking, I believe that would be police, fire, and EMTs. I'm sure you can go deeper than that and the web can go broader, but for, you know, basic coverage, that needs to include those for sure.
Other questions?
Did he mean front line perhaps? And if he did, that was when I worked with the hospitals for the healthcare heroes on the front line. I worked with, you know, obviously the hospitals know who those people are more than I did. So I left it up to them, cardiac, pulmonary. I know that they, you know, did the emergency room staff one night. So I kind of left that decision on who their frontline people were that needed to be thanked and fed up to the hospitals to figure out which departments to take the food to.
So for Jerry, just go to the hospital and ask them who do they consider their front line? Is it emergency? Is it reception? What is it? And take their cues. Excellent. Other questions in the remaining 2 minutes or so that we have? Andy, do you have anything?
I see one from any tips on convincing the more resistant people that they should pivot to timelier marketing?
Ooh. Well, I mean, I guess I don't know. I think that you can share data that you find. If they think that that particular message still resonates for them and their business, I'm not saying that we don't acknowledge that things are different. I mean, they're weird, for real. But I think we just can't be using the same words and that everyone else is using. How does your business attack that same message? How can you say the same thing without actually saying, in these trying times?
Right. Skip the words that have so much fatigue associated with them. And if you want to reach out that same way, how does that message sound different than all those clips we put together for you that all sounded exactly the same?
Yeah, I think that like the word that stuck out to me would be the authenticity, and then just kind of bringing that human element and letting your brand personality come through to where like, don't try to be everybody else, just be you, be your business. That's the best way to connect with people. It's the best way to invoke emotion, and best way to kind of draw out the tribe and your tribe, your ideal customers, and draw more of them to you. I mean, would you agree, Jen and Jean?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I don't know that I have any more thoughts to add to that. If it's important for that business to still to use that messaging, just make sure it's unique to them and their brand.
Cool. Any other questions? I didn't see any come through. So if anyone, we can pause for a second. I know sometimes it takes a second to unmute. If you've been reserved to ask your question, this is your last chance. So just wanted to pause a second.
Well, that either means we were amazing or it was not enough.
Or just the right amount, Jen.
Or perfect, Jen.
Yeah.
You're perfect, Jen. Don't anybody tell you different.
Yes, good. All right, so you will be getting a recording of this webinar. You'll see the slides. You'll get a link to the slides as well. That'll happen tomorrow morning. So stand by for that if you'd like to take notes and revisit this information. And you can actually always reach out if you want more information. We'll connect you with Jen and Jean to answer some specific questions. But Andy, go ahead and introduce next webinar, which is not next week, but the following.
Yeah, so we are making a change. We're moving to a bi-weekly webinar series. So this will just help us promote it a little bit more and just switch things up a little bit and fill your email boxes a little bit less. I'm really excited about bringing Dawn Garcia on after talking to her a few weeks ago and trying to utilize this situation from a talent acquisition strategy for your business to where there's probably some talented employees that may have left because of this, or they might have that seed of doubt in their brain that, hey, what if my job isn't safe? So there could be seen as an opportunity to where as you're growing your team or keeping the people on your team that you don't want those seeds of doubt to creep into your people, Dawn's going to help talk about those subjects and bring in some creative ideas and bring her years of expertise in to share some strategies and a lot of her findings and her, I think she had a couple of decades of experience in what she's doing, but it's been a bit. So, but yeah, we're really excited about bringing her on. So pay attention to your email box. Feel free to share it with friends or other colleagues and business owners as we're looking to spread the good word of the Wicked Smart webinar and to share the good resources and information that we have with as many people as possible. And we really appreciate your time and that you've invested with us today, and look forward to hearing the creative ideas and things that come out from what you've learned today from Jen and Jean. So,
Jen and Jean, thank you so much again. It was just an honor to have you spend time with us. I adore you people. It's fun working with you, and you're awesome at what you do, and you did an excellent job. Thank you so much. Everybody, see you in a couple of weeks. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.